What's up, nerds? Today we are honored to be joined by the comic book creator of Kairu, Slayer of Kaiju, and content creator Gerald Goodwin Jr.
That's right. Gerald will be joining us for a joyfully snurdy conversation.
We'll be talking about his beginnings, the inspiration for his work, and what his future plans are for the story.
All that and more on today's bonus episode with Gerald on the Black and Snurdy podcast.
Adam has arrived.
Hey, Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snurdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna meet magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health. No, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the goat, talking about animation cause you know. Odie, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she's taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snurdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snurdy, ooh. Black and Snurdy, yeah. Black and Snurdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snurdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy black nerds get together to shoot the shit. I am Mo, aka Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned Snurds here on a bonus episode
Bonus
of the Black and Snurdy podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty okay. I mean, I'm alive, you know.
It's good to be alive.
And yeah, I'm here. So I'm doing the best that I can with what I got. How are you doing?
Sounds good. I am mad tired. I'm so friggin' tired. But at the time of this recording, there is a lot to do. Mm-hmm. There's a long week ahead, and I am already exhausted. I feel like exactly what my grandparents felt. Obviously, very different generations, very different stresses, but somehow a lot of overlap, actually, in a very, very sad state of society. But no, I am very tired.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm rallying and I am doing, the very best that I can.
Yeah.
But, full transparency, like I've had some sleepless nights yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. And I think maybe the day before that.
Yeah.
And I have a very early morning tomorrow. So my body is going to need to adjust very quickly to the new state of affairs or state of the union, what have you. Yeah. I don't know what the phrase is off the top of my head.
Well, you know what? We're doing it.
Yes, we are. We're doing it.
I think that's great.
We're doing it, and we're doing it well.
We are.
And I don't like to quote that man's songs.
Your arch nemesis.
Yeah, I have a short list of arch nemesis, and he is maybe 3. Because one of them passed away and there's no need for me to hold on to that pettiness. But enough of the shenanigans. What do you say it's time for us to boogie and get right into it?
Let's go.
That's your flow state. As mentioned in the cold open, we have the honor of having a special guest today. He is the creator of Kairu, Slayer of Kaiju, the comic book series. He is a content creator within the space, and we've had the pleasure to speak with him, and he is an absolute delight. Joining the pantheon of the Snurdyverse, please give a warm, hearty round of applause to Gerald Goodwin Jr.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Look up in the air, look up in the sky. It's your new favorite comic book guy with the voice that is oh so fly. What's happening, y'all?
We love
Hand claps. As a matter of fact, I believe I have a drop dedicated just for expressing how I felt about that.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely. Man, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for joining us. How are you feeling? And more importantly, how does it feel to join the pantheon of the Snurdyverse? And do you accept the responsibilities that come with that?
Oh man. So first off, how am I feeling? Overall, pretty good. A little agitated that I couldn't attend Godzilla Fest this weekend. Yeah, I'm having an existential crisis that is bigger than Nicki Minaj at a MAGA gathering. But aside from that, I'm feeling really fortunate to be part of the Snurdyverse right now. And thank you so much for having me. And yes, I'm ready for the responsibilities.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Fantastic. I gotta say, you might be the first guest to actually directly answer the responsibilities question, so that's definitely appreciated.
I like to keep track of all the questions that are asked. That's all.
Yes, I do know that we've been told that we be asking all the questions.
Asking all the questions.
Asking all them questions. So
Robot.
fantastic. But no, in all seriousness, thank you for joining the show today. Just to sort of get started, why don't you tell our listeners like who you are and what you do as far as the creation of Kairu, Slayer of Kaiju?
Awesome. Glad you asked. So in a nutshell, I am the creator of Kairu, Slayer of Kaiju, your new favorite comic book series slash superhero series, sci-fi tale, that is centered on the idea of mental health awareness. Because in a nutshell, the synopsis: this 12-year-old is granted this alien technology. It's a super suit, basically. It's nanotech based. It allows him to grow and transform into different monstrous shapes. And him and the suit basically have like a symbiotic relationship. So there's a high element of like correlation between the two of them. So if he's feeling like a negative emotion, the suit has the potential to backfire on him. If he's feeling really hype, or if he's having a real like positive day, he has the potential to gain like a new superpower, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, that does make sense. When we were initially talking and we were discussing the story, I would like to ask, like, what was the inspiration for the story? Okay. I don't want to put any words in your mouth, but like when we were talking, I was like, oh, that sounds like a sort of a hybrid of that kind of sounds like a hybrid of like Neon Genesis Evangelion and Blue Beetle. So what would you say your inspirations were for the story?
So just growing up, I always was fascinated with tales where the main character had like a symbiotic relationship with another entity or another alien or whatever you might want to call it. And so, it's probably the Spider-Man fan in me a little bit, who knows, because he constantly encounters the symbiote and stuff. But I really just wanted to tell a tale that had a heavy enough / intellectually based theme that can tell a useful story that readers can learn and or get inspired from, as well as telling a meaningful, engaging, like fun kaiju story as well. Because as you can tell, I'm a kaiju nut. I am a Godzilla disciple. So
nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so I'm curious, when you came with the mental health aspect of it, of like, I think that's really it's an interesting way of like you're having these superpowers and the not the cons, but the impact of the suit is basically the impact of your mental health. And so I'm curious for you, what was the decision to add that to the character versus just being another, symbiotic relationship?
I take the topic of mental health quality or maintaining quality mental health very seriously within our community. I'm what you would call a mental health advocate. I call myself a mental health communicator. And there was a time in my early college days. Ooh, we're going back now. Where I did study psychology, so it's something that's near and dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I just wanted to tell a fun story where readers can read an issue and gain not just like a new sense of like uh, perspective, but a valuable life lesson, like basically attain a valuable life lesson from these comic
Mm-hmm.
book issues, you know?
Absolutely. I grew up with comic books. And I grew up with comic books, superhero stories, but more importantly, I am a firm believer in the idea of just stories being sort of morality tales. Like we should be able to glean interesting perspectives and moralities and different modes of thinking, which is why stories and storytelling is very important to me as somebody who grew up with an appreciation of comic books and anime. And just storytelling in general. I understand how the different perspectives and the different tales and what role that played a part in my life. What would you say what would you say that role played in your life?
Yep. So, oh man, comic books, graphic novels, in a nutshell, played a huge positive factor in my life, in basically shaping who I am right now. Um, because when I was a kid, I'm sure we all know about, the GOAT himself, Tobey Maguire. I grew up on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and I wanted to know more about this character, Spider-Man. And so, I had my dad, basically give me like his hand-me-down comics, basically. And, anytime we were like near a comic shop, I would ask my parents to go, just to find out more about the GOAT Spider-Man. And, you know, through these comics and through these graphic novels, I was able to not just to be entertained by kick-ass dope battles, but I was able to learn valuable lessons within the OG Stan Lee books. I was able to also experience a character who was very similar to me. So comics just played a huge positive role in my life.
And well, outside of Spider-Man, are there any comic books that you could say were a big influence on you as a kid, and have been influences in the comic books?
I would say, I read a lot of manga growing up. Definitely a lot of manga. I would say anything static related, shout out to Milestone. Shout out to Milestone.
Nice.
Dwayne McDuffie, a GOAT.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And a few Superman comics here and there. Yeah.
Fantastic. I personally
notice I didn't give you the wrong answer, Batman. we don't rap bats here. I'm sorry.
Look, we don't rap bats, we don't rap cats. And I don't even know if that's something famously I've said on this podcast, but that's exactly how I feel at the moment.
We do rep cats hard.
No. First off, I said rats and bats. I didn't say cats, but now cats is on the list.
Well, I would hope you don't rep rats. Oh.
No, not at all. We are civilians, so that's never an issue with us. If you know, you know. Oh boy. But no. So, all right. Let me moving ever so slightly, but staying in the same arena. You mentioned earlier that you are a huge sort of Godzilla / Kaiju fan. Like, can you speak on your where your appreciation for Kaiju in general started?
Oh goodness. So my experience with Kaiju is like one of the earliest memories I have. Like honestly, I remember being like, I would say maybe 1.5, maybe 2 years old, chilling on my mother's bed, watching Sci-Fi Channel back when Sci-Fi Channel used to be the shit. She just turned to the Sci-Fi Channel. She saw, I guess she knew that I had a fascination with dinosaurs, she was like, "Oh, okay, oh shit, Godzilla's on, convenient." Um, and she put it on, and ever since then, I'm like, oh, in my baby brain, I'm like, oh shit, this is a superpowered dinosaur. He's spitting radioactive fire. This is badass. And so it was just a wrap. Ever since then, it's GG. You know.
GG all the way. As you've gotten older, like what has sort of kept you in the fandom, so to speak? Like, is it still like just the nostalgia of it all, that it's still tied closely to like core memories? Are there other aspects of kaiju and specifically Godzilla that appeal to you now differently as an adult than it did as a kid? Like, if you could speak on that would be dope.
Yeah. So it's a bit of nostalgia. It is, because, nostalgia is just key for basically anything in entertainment. But, look, the older I got, the more I learned that Godzilla and many other kaiju in a nutshell they represent a indomitable, unstoppable force. And so kind of similar to like certain superheroes, right? So if you were to basically look at them, and it's so weird to say this about a fictional creature that destroys fucking cities, but if you were to look at them as something to learn from in terms of like inspiration, I mean, Godzilla is like the best example of that, in my opinion. He's 8 times out of 10, you ain't beating him. He's gonna come back if he does lose, you feel me, because he is a sourpuss like that. And yeah. I mean, kaiju are just awesome, man. So like that whole like element of like being semi-invincible was just something that rings very close to my heart, and that I subconsciously think and meditate on that each and every day.
I love that.
That's fantastic.
And now, as someone who I've seen lots of Godzilla movies and the shows and things like that, but I'm curious if you have a favorite Godzilla movie and what it is.
Ooh, or how much time we got? Okay, you know what? So my favorites right now have to be any of the like recent American joints with, or the Godzilla Kong crossovers. Those are just awesome. They're fun, very fun. A lot of people basically say, "Oh, it's basically just like Transformers. All it is spectacle, all action." Shut the fuck up. Just buy your ticket. Just buy your ticket and just turn your brain off. There's nothing wrong with turning your brain off sometimes. And then aside from that, one of my absolute favorites, Godzilla Minus One, Godzilla Minus Zero, which is coming up later this year. You can already tell that that's going to be another masterpiece. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think that at least from my perspective, what I appreciate about Godzilla is the versatility of the stories that can be done about Godzilla. Like, just like you said, like there's literally the Godzilla X Kong in the fucking Skull Island verse of it all, where it can just be an enjoyable big monster smash big monkey sort of story, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then there's also the Godzilla Minus One, Godzilla Minus Zero, where like there's more of a widened focus on like the human element, the sort of survivor's guilt and exploration of just like how to overcome like this indomitable force. I love that aspect about the versatility of Godzilla. How do you feel about the sort of duality or the multi-purposeness of Godzilla and Godzilla's stories?
Bro, to sum it up in like, I'm sure you guys have seen this memed in various YouTube channels or videos, but this shit means something to me. Oh my goodness. Like, bro, the thing is, these stories, I think they're timeless in a way. Like, even the ones with like the shitty effects and whatnot, because like they get a bad rep of people saying, "Oh, the plots are so forgettable. The human characters are forgettable." No,
Mm-hmm.
if you really pay attention, there are like, especially in the early days, there are some classic Godzilla films with some decent writing.
Mm-hmm.
I could just name a few: Godzilla versus Mothra, the original Gojira at '54, the OG Godzilla versus King Kong. I mean, it's got a decent enough plot. Yeah, and I just named like a few off rip.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, as I said, even with those, they have like this background, this back theme of the monster isn't just representing a monster at surface level. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
representing like a toxic idea that we need to stay away from and or consider. Um, Case in point, Godzilla and the A bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Should we really have invented that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I appreciate about these films. And in a way, the way I guess I translated that into my comics in terms of like overall thinking, I just really appreciate how kaiju films, if you really peep them, they have intellectual themes within them. And so I wanted to include the theme of mental health awareness because number one, I knew the majority of my audience was going to be black, no racial. Um, but and I figured, well, I might as well tell a meaningful tale
Mm-hmm.
utilizing this story. So yeah.
And I love that, especially when I think about the way that so many, both kids and adults, use comic books as an escape and to get away from their daily problems. I think that having another piece of medium or another piece of media that you enjoy that's reinforcing those ideas and pushing like a positive thinking and reframing is really important. And so I'm curious because you love kaiju so much,
Yes.
then how come your character is slaying them?
You know what? You are the first person to actually like ever ask me that question. So shout out to you. I appreciate that. So the kaiju themselves within the context of this story, they represent a variety of different mental health dilemmas that we humans experience in the real world. So you got
Mm-hmm.
you one beast might represent anxiety, another monstrosity might represent self-doubt or guilt,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. So I just really wanted to show via these comic book images how through perseverance, determination, and sheer will,
Mm-hmm.
human beings are capable of slaying metaphorical giants. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I fucking love that. That's dope. I did want to ask, just pivoting a little bit. I know that we previously off mic spoke about the appreciation that you have for anime. If you don't mind me asking, what role did anime play in your beginnings, and what role does that have for you now?
Ooh, wow. Okay, anime played a huge, huge positive role in my life. Aging myself, but I grew up on the one and only Toonami. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? Uh, Man, good, great stuff. My Saturday mornings were like just unforgettable. So anime played a huge role in this, and again with the storytelling, the way the characters are designed. You know, in the early Kairu issues, you can actually notice that there is some manga inspiration sprinkled in there as well. So it, as I said, just played a huge role. Huge role.
What are some of your favorite animes? As someone who's an expert, I would like to know.
You can
Put me on
totally
the hot
tell
seat.
she referred
I
to
love
them
these
as animes.
What else would I be referring to them as?
So right now, okay, a recent one is my hero. That's one that I'm really appreciating. Of course, Attack on Titan in terms of like the recent ones. If we talking like OG, you can't go wrong with Tenchi Muyo.
Mm.
Uh, can't go wrong with Dragon Ball. You could never go wrong with Dragon Ball. Even though you got haters that basically say, "Oh my God, it's so overrated. All these niggas do is fight." Like who? And that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I think that it's funny that you mentioned that, especially with like Dragon Ball. Like I have also sort of ventured out into the, nerd spaces and found that comment has come up a number of times. One, I understand that anything that is literally like a forerunner or, that becomes like super big, that it is the standard from which everything else is measured against, tends to be looked at by later generations as quote unquote overrated, just because like timelines change and like standards evolve and change from there. I personally don't see Dragon Ball or even Dragon Ball Z or the entire Dragon Ball verse as overrated. I see it as like culturally impressive and culturally necessary,
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
I did want to sort of touch on because you kind of mentioned it and it kind of got me thinking, like, how do you sort of engage with some of the, let's say, negative aspects of fandom or negative aspects of the sort of fandom spaces? Like, how do you navigate that? How do you deal and address that?
Here's my counter question to that. Pertaining to my books or just in general?
Oh, I just meant in general. I didn't necessarily mean, I don't think or assume that anybody is having anything negative to say about your work. I'm more so speaking about the larger space of nerddom.
So my thing is, me personally, like even growing up, I've never really been like someone who cared so much about the opinions of others to the point where like it swayed my like viewpoint from something else. I mean, if I like something, I'm gonna like it. You feel me? I mean, shit, you talking to Godzilla's biggest fan. I love Godzilla since before he was even like popping like how he is today. You know what I'm saying? These days, like the kaiju genre is like almost damn near neck and neck with the MCU these days. Prior to that, like years back, I was still a fan when people barely knew what kaiju was. So my point in saying that was, I never really cared. Like as long as like I found value in it and I was getting entertained and learning something valuable from it, don't really make me no difference.
No, that's important. I think that, growing up, my fandom, which the one that like I've had for the longest is obviously Harry Potter. And as a kid, nobody really was feeling it. No one I talked to cared. It was very hard to find anyone to like have conversations with and things like that. But it never stopped me from loving it and liking it and wanting to read it and like going all in, because I knew there were people. I was on MuggleNet, back when it was just like a scrappy little site or whatever. Yeah. So I think it's important to always like lean into the things that you love and not care so much about what other people have to say, because who cares? They don't gotta read it. It's my eyes.
I mean, we gotta also consider that, millions, maybe a billion years from now, I mean, the sun is gonna fucking eat our planet up. Like that does it rip? Is your opinion mattering that much to where it's distracting me from like the overall grand scheme of things,
Exactly. What is the phrase? What they eat don't make me shit.
I almost quoted that.
I love that phrase because I think it's perfect, because you shouldn't care about what I'm putting in my mouth because it's not doing anything to you. But speaking about your work, I'm curious if you could let us know any inside scoops of like what plans you have for upcoming issues, or any ways that you're thinking of like changing things up or what have you. We like to be in the know.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up, because for the first time ever, like in any interview, I'm going to show you the rough storyboards of a comic that I haven't even technically published yet. Hold on. So basically, what I have here are like the storyboards for a upcoming issue 6.
Fantastic. I love that.
And I really love this one right here. So this guy right here, I want you to try to guess his name based off of how he looks.
Kind of is giving super villain because he's looking
yeah.
real cool.
He's got the super villain haircut in it, and I believe, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, was that a trench coat?
Yeah.
And was he flinging it as he monologued his what he's gonna do?
Matter of fact, I'm gonna read the speech bubble. It says, "Gotta admit, at first I wanted to remain a secret and study you for a bit longer. But as a great poet says, sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas." So so the name of this character is, and I shit you not, Mr. Steel Yubbage. Yeah.
Sorry, that took me out.
Because he looks like Michael B. Jordan's like fifth cousin removed. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
Hey, auntie.
Yep. There you go.
That's fucking awesome. Thank you so much for that exclusive, as we like to say.
Do we?
First time ever that I, showed like a raw storyboard, like in any interview. So yeah.
Well, we are very honored to have that. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
A fantastic trade-off for being a part of the Snurdyverse.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on, I just want to ask one last question. If there was any one piece of advice that you can give to anybody who is looking to, be a part of the creator space, whether it be in the realm of comic books, whatever that realm of creator you might be, what would you say is the one piece of advice that you would offer?
So, I have like two pieces to add to that.
Doesn't have to be one; it could be two. We change the rules.
I like to mix it up a little.
Okay.
So I have a quote that kind of like goes with that, and it's actually going to be introduced in one of my upcoming Kairu books. And the quote basically goes, "Whether I'm up, down, or feeling blue, is far too much left for me to do. What keeps me going is doing what's right. Darkness beware, my unyielding light." So basically, that's going to become Kairu's mantra that he says to himself. And once he says that to himself, he's able to, gain a new power because the suit is responding to his positive emotion. And that's something that I say to myself whenever I'm feeling like in a deep mental funk, and it usually gets me out of it, So yeah.
That's awesome.
I love that. Thank you for
I
sharing
appreciate that. Did you have one more question?
No, actually, because my question was actually going to be about the mantra. So you took the words right out of my mouth.
I also had like part two. So in reference to just granting advice to anyone eager to be in the creative space, I would say be angry. Now, what do you mean be angry? I'm saying it's okay to feel certain emotions, but you can't let those emotions like corrupt you. You got to let anger motivate you to do better. You let anger be the spark to add to your overall flame of motivation, so to speak. That's all.
Absolutely. Let the anger be the flame, but not the fire.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, again, I want to thank you, Gerald, for joining the episode and, staying within the ballpark. We're going to move right along. Moving right along, I think it is time for us to slide on down to our mental health section. That is right. We like to check in with our mental health journeys because, as we say on this podcast, we are mental health advocates, not experts. And so I'm going to start off with checking in with my podcasting partner, Odie. How are you doing in your mental health journey this week?
I am okay, I guess. Not really that great, but I'm trying to doing the best that I can with what I've got is very much the feelings that I have. I'm still feeling very upset and frustrated and mad and also a variety of other feelings that I probably need my feelings wheel to pinpoint, because it's just waves of different things. Adulting is hard. It's trash at times. I mean, it's great because you're like free to do what you want, but you have to do all of it like by yourself, which sucks. Or like not by yourself because you're never alone. People are always there to support you and all those things. You should always lean on your community to get you through whatever you gotta get through. However, you still have to do the things on your own. Like nobody can do the things for you. So that's where it gets rough and tough. And I'm just very exhausted. So that's about it. Gerald, how's your mental health going?
So within the past few days, I noticed that there has been a change in reference to like certain behaviors that I used to do. So like I've changed how I respond or react to certain awkward situations.
Mm-hmm.
And not to stray into like a conversation that or a topic that needs to be 10 minutes long, but like what inspired this? Literally the other day I had this chick like ask me for money and she barely knew me for 5 minutes. And normally the old me would have responded like, "What? Are you crazy? What, did you barely even know me?" But I just respectfully texted, "Honey, you don't even know me. Like, you don't think that's a little rude of you to ask?" So I'm proud of myself for responding that way. Needless to say,
No, that's real.
You did it. I think that one of the things about getting older is being able to recognize how you might want to respond to a situation, and also acknowledging the growth that you don't respond to the situations like that in the same way as you used to before you were more, mature and enlightened. Sometimes they actually don't need your mature and enlightened self, but it's good that we can clock in that we're doing the thing.
Absolutely.
Mo?
My mental health right now is trash. I've been saying and chronicling in the spirit of transparency on this podcast, I have been unemployed and uninsured for a stretch. So I am have bipolar 2. And it is really tough to navigate that when there is limited funds and very little funds coming in. And when you have all of the stresses of the world just piling on you, my only solace is that I did have a long stint of time going to therapy. I was given a lot of tools to be able to navigate those feelings. And while, yes, ideally, I would love to be able to navigate my brain and those feelings while also on Wellbutrin and Aripiprazole, but like there's been enough tools and mindfulness and just being patient both with myself and others to be able to navigate those periods where I am experiencing, depression or manic episodes. Would be nice if I was able to, figure that out before I get into those states. But once I recognize what it is and once I see the signs of what it is, I do have the tools to be able to navigate myself around them and then out of them without letting them overcome me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that's essentially how I'm doing right now. And I appreciate y'all for both being as transparent as y'all are and allowing me to be as transparent as I am.
Well, that's the point.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Having check-ins, it's not to lie.
Fair enough. You're absolutely right. And that has been our mental health check-in. But here's the thing, y'all. Here is the thing. It is not all good in the hood. Unfortunately, we're pissed. We're upset. We're angry. We're annoyed. We're peeved. We're cheesed. Not sure if I've used that one before. But that's okay, because we have the right to be able to express ourselves, even our negative emotions, because we're big mad!
Bringing it. What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
A lovely homage to the GOAT, DMX.
Yep.
Mo, you shall go first.
Actually, I was, if it's okay, I was hoping our guest would go first.
All right.
Okay.
What is making you big mad at the moment?
Whew. All right. It is, well, the reason why it's so fresh in my brain now is the fact that I encounter it every day. Niggas. Hold on. Oh. When I say niggas, I'm talking about like anybody of any race.
Mm-hmm.
In this context. People who watch your IG or social media stories and they see you're posting some fun, interesting, nifty shit, but they don't like, respond, share. They don't convey any reaction at all. They just literally just watch, like seemingly for the purpose of like research purposes, as if you're some fucking hamster or some shit. And I find it bizarre. And the reason why it's annoying, not even necessarily in reference to my ego, but like relating it back to comics and superheroes. People complain that, oh my God, there's not enough originality, or there's, the MCU is getting stale, DC getting stale, we need something new. Well, if you don't share and promote indie artists, we got some good shit too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hey, help us, give you the good shit. Exposure is good. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And, support your local artists. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Appreciate that. Odie, what's making you big mad?
What's making me big mad? Money.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Lack thereof.
Yeah.
It's making me big mad.
Absolutely.
It's annoying, and I would love nothing more than to just be independently wealthy, because when they say money doesn't buy happiness, those people have never not had money. So what's making you big mad?
And I'll try to keep this brief as possible. I know I tend to go on little mini rants, but at the moment, Hollywood is making me big mad. Specifically, within the realm of superhero movies, we have been in a bit of a weird period for, I would say, maybe the last few years to possibly a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this go-to explanation for why anything superhero related that is released does not do well. We've seen it recently with the Supergirl movie.
Mm-hmm.
This weird defense of, like the one that I always hear is that, well, the audience is experiencing superhero fatigue. It's just that, or even more importantly, right now, it's this new generation. It's the young kids. They don't like superheroes anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The new generation doesn't think that superheroes are cool. To which I say, the reason, if any reason, why they think that superheroes aren't cool is because you spent the last decade just turning out high mediocrity and a lot of mediocrity and a lot of low bar. Think about that for a second. Like, Iron Man came out when we were in college, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then from there, I would say, and even if you want to go back even further to like the 90s with like Blade and X-Men and Spider-Man, when superhero movies were more far in between, but the quality was there. And then with the creation of Iron Man, and what they saw was like, oh, this relatively, because Marvel was pretty indie at the moment for a movie studio. Oh, like everybody is starting to like superheroes and stuff like that. Hollywood always sees a popular thing and they learn the wrong fucking lesson from that thing. And that just bothers me that right now their lesson that they're learning is this current generation doesn't like superheroes. It's not that the generation doesn't like superheroes. It's because you spent the last decade oversaturating the market with a bunch of bullshit, with a bunch of mediocrity to varying degrees. Where the best used to be the standard and the, sort of middle tier to like low was sort of the exception. Now the middle is the standard and the excellent is the exception. What do you think is going to happen when an entire generation sees nothing but a bunch of fucking bullshit or a bunch of low quality to mid to middle of the road to below the road nonsense? And of course, you're going to learn the exact wrong reason. You watch the Barbie movie and your takeaway from that was, oh, kids like toy properties. Let's make He-Man. You see the fucking you see the wrong things and you take the wrong lessons away from that. So Hollywood, like y'all gotta fucking do better. Like actually sit and analyze fucking trends, not through a goddamn algorithm, but actually figure some shit out. That's all I will say.
You gotta
Can I add to that?
Sure.
I just want to like add like a snarky comment. That's why I appreciate that the Monsterverse releases a movie every few years and they take their time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but that's everything that is making us big man.
Bring it. What?
But we don't like to sit in negativity because we're just not like that. Which is why we always like to end things off with the things that are making us happy.
I'm the baby merchant, tots are us, I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
That is the infamous Baby Merchant song from the one season canceled 90s cop rock show, Cop Rock, song about trying to purchase babies on the black market, sung in a whimsical way.
Terrible. Gerald, can you please tell us what's making you happy this week?
So what's really just been making me really happy is the fact that these days we're just seeing so many. Oh my God, that guy was really loud. Anyway,
Yeah.
We're seeing so many melanated faces just chasing their dreams. We're seeing so many of us in like healthy, conducive spaces, networking, enhancing our quality of life, and that just really brings a smile to my face, honestly. Simply put.
I love that.
Absolutely. Odie, what's making you happy at the moment?
Nachos.
Nice.
I love nachos. They're delicious. They never fail to just give you a warm feeling, and they are plentiful. And I think that life should be like nachos all the time.
Oh, I love that. Quick question. Whose is it though?
Nachos.
That's dope. I like that.
Mo, What's making you happy this week?
At the moment, I will say this, that one, I always like to say doing this podcast with you, having Gerald on, I always say that doing this podcast is therapeutic, not the same thing as therapy, but therapeutic. And to sort of piggyback on what you were saying, Pop-Tarts. I grew up with them. I used to collect the various Pop-Tart boxes. Recently, a childhood friend of mine reminded me of that and asked me, why did you do that? And I said, I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it was cool that they were coming out with new Pop-Tart boxes like SpongeBob and Barbie and various, Pop-Tart boxes. I thought they'd be collectible. I don't know.
I think they look tastier on the box, like at least the image anyway,
Yeah,
absolutely. And here's the thing. Now that I am pushing 40, I am well aware that they are bad for me. And I am well aware that they just flow through my veins in a way that scares the shit out of me, given my family's health history. But it's the one comfort food that I don't go to all the time, but when I do, sparingly, I still have a deep love and appreciation for them. And it's like that scene in Ratatouille where something, meaningful can take you back to like a core memory of the past. So, that for me, it's Pop-Tarts, specifically Wildberry.
All right.
And that is everything that is making us happy.
I'm the baby merchant, tots are us.
Gerald, again, thank you for coming on the show. Where can people find you and what would you like to plug?
Oh, thanks for asking. So people can find me at writer_man716. That is my main Instagram platform that I use. That's where you can find a bunch of different comic book shenanigans, like, different cons that I attend, or maybe I'm just posting a nice slice of life pic. You can also follow the Kairu _slayer of _kaiju. That's my second page, where I post material that's centered more to the comic book series in a nutshell. And yeah, those are my main platforms. I also have a YouTube channel where I cover a variety of different movie topics, video essays at Spiderzilla28 as well.
All right, dope.
That is fantastic. Well, Gerald, thank you so much for being on the show. And for our listeners, thank y'all so much for watching. Please give big love and show big mad support to Gerald. As we always say on this, I was weirdly trying to say a thing, but then I also thought I was starting to sound like Kanye, and I was trying to.
I was hearing it.
I was trying to avoid that like the plague. But as we always say on this show, if that's everything, then that's everything. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Until next time, take it easy. Keep it sleazy. Bye.
Thanks for listening, nerds.
Keep the show growing. Listen, comment, and download on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or watch full episodes on YouTube.
Follow the show at Black and Snurdy.
Follow me at Licorice is Legit.
Find me at that'sod_e on Twitter and at that'sod.e on Instagram.
This is the Black and Snurdy Podcast,
where nerds of a feather flock together.